It seems to me the automations of the disconnected mind of the brain has, as a basic function, retained the process to supply the throne of the self inside the soul. It is as if the endless sequence of thoughts is aware of some central structure, as it were, of what we can call the self, the feeling of exquisite self that rises up into all existence, yet in isolation in its garden of secrecy. The brain does not like a void of nothingness, it wants to support the self, but is bewildered. Because the exquisite sense of self, its feeling and image, had toppled in our brokenness, and the empty high places of standing within us are filled by notions of false selves, which had hijacked the places of the thrones in the soul. I am not sure, but I think these notions are thought forms, creatures which are half alive, they take shapes, like bats, or whatever, I am not sure. All things are subject to the principles of thrones, even, and most obviously, the high throne of Yahweh himself, thrones in the cosmos, throne structures within us, through which we maneuver life. Our psychology has an affinity for a central structure. The life of God, the force of life, passes through the brain, to a point, into and through this central structure of our psychology, the self of the soul, which is supported by the thoughts of the brain. This self is the feeling and awareness of our exquisite self. There is a unique principle or spiritual law at work here. We can say it is the law of familiar feeling. A thing must feel real, natural, the things from God, even life itself, passes into us when our minds feel it to be natural as opposed to be foreign. I look at a river in a mountain. I feel myself there. I feel God's life. I consciously feel the real naturalness of it all, in peace. Because the feeling of peace itself allows naturalness. The exquisite self must have a house. The main house is the feeling or ambience of either masculinity or femininity. How can we reach into the dimensions without these houses anyway? And we should hardly be like the witches and warlocks who cavort the dimensions without a house. The nourishment of masculinity or femininity is important, and is an interface, even towards God, who has as his first interface, familiarity and masculinity. For some reason his masculinity is an interface, even as he contains in his image, the houses of both femininity and masculinity, the image of God, male and female, as it is written. Notwithstanding both inside God, somehow, the immediate interface is the masculine in God, as I sensed, vaguely, that God said to me, I am not a two-headed creature. And he may have said, we must honor the one, then we will honor the other. When we despise the one, we will distort the other. When we nourish the house of the one that is ours, we can get the treasures of both, because both are paths of treasures.